Easter, everyone. It's a bit of a different Easter this year, but I'm still running my literacy series because you can watch this anytime. I am introducing you to more of a strategy today, and that is around the identification of the first sound in words. So we have actually already touched on this a little bit with the sound of the day. And it is a phonological awareness skill. So remembering that phonological awareness is about developing a children's awareness of how sounds work, how they go together, and how that all comes together for literacy. So, and they are also a very essential skill that must be taught, and children must have exposure to these skills. So this one is a really easy activity. All I've done is I've gone around my house and I've found lots of little tiny things, and I've hidden them in some little Easter eggs, the plastic ones that you pop open. And all I'm going to do is ask my kids to crack one open, see what's inside, we'll talk about it, add language to the experience, and then we're going to talk about what sound does it start with. And when we do this, if it's the first time your child's ever experienced this sort of activity before, what you might want to do is just emphasize that first sound a little bit. And some sounds can be easier than others, so you'll notice the sound is really easy because you can just hold it that bit longer. Any of those fricatives, if you think back to my speech sound series, they're just easier to hold on to, whereas the quick stops like p and b, they're just gone in a flash. So that's the first strategy. The second one you can do is draw their attention to your mouth when you say the sounds. You can also separate the first sound from the rest of the word very slightly. So you might say, oh, this one's a pig, pig, pig. Can you hear that? I don't recommend separating a lot if you can avoid it. We really want kids to be tuning into that sound. Don't expect them to get it straight away, and you might find that they get it for some sounds and not for other sounds because, you know, some are just trickier than others. Using their name may be a really good way in with this skill. They may really tune in a lot more when it's got that first sound from their name, and it's something you can talk about a lot. But let me show you the activity and I can show you how I might run it. So for this activity, I have just raided my kids' toys and Barbie Dream House and anything that I could find that had little things that would fit inside the eggs. Some of them didn't fit inside the eggs, so we can still talk about those, and we could do it with put them all inside of a bag and do a pulling out of the bag type of activity. But I have just put them inside these eggs that we've got. And these eggs are actually pretty cool. They've got little animals on them. But all we're going to do is crack them open, which can be quite tricky for kids. I try to get them to squeeze it, see what is inside. So in this one, we've got a bottle, bottle, bottle. And I do use a lot of repetition just to give kids the chance. So we've got a little bottle. Bottle. I can hear a b sound at the beginning of bottle. Now I've made some groups down here, and I've got key, comb, and cup. Key, bottle. Do they sound like they start with the same sound? I'm not sure about that one. Let's check the other group. We've got bowl, ball, brush, bottle. Oh, these ones start with the same sound. They all start with the b sound. Bottle starts with a b sound. So I'm going to put it in this group with the b objects. And then we can do another one. So you can see I do quite a lot of repetition, just to really give their ears and their brain that chance to really hear the sounds. So here I've got a camera. Some kids might not have seen a camera these days because we all use our smartphones so much. Camera. And something to keep in mind here is that when we do the k sound, it's not actually about the spelling of the letters, because if you notice down here, I've got my k sound words, objects, sorry. I've got a key which starts with K. I've got a comb that starts with C. I've got a cup that starts with C, and I've got a camera that starts with C. But even though this one has a K and these ones all have a C, they go in the same group because we're talking about sounds. We are not talking about letters in this circumstance. And that's then a learning opportunity in the future where we discover that there are two letters that can spell that same sound. So let's see what's in the next one. Ooh, here we go. This one is actually quite easy because it's exactly the same word. Bottle, bottle. Bottle. And sometimes it's really nice to have that repetition as well. And we can talk about it. Oh, this one is for a baby and this one is maybe for the mama. The last one. Carrots. 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 Which group do you think the carrots go into? Let's have a look at what we've got. Bowl, bottle, bottle, bowl, brush, carrots. Does that sound right? I don't think so. Let's go over here. We've got key, comb, cup, camera, carrots. I hear that k sound at the beginning of all of them. And a little reminder, if you think back to the speech sound series that I did, anytime we've got a quiet sound like the k sound, it's really important that we don't say k, but instead it's actually a k sound. It's a really quiet sound. So that's my activity, and it's really, really easy. Now, the reason I really like to use little objects for this activity is that they don't have any letters on them. And I know I've been going on and on and on about letters and looking for letters in their environment, but we want children to be able to do phonological awareness tasks without using the clues that they can find in the written forms. We really want kids to be able to hear those sounds, tune into those sounds, because if you think about it, if a child has to spell, let's do the word cup. If they have to spell the word cup and the word cup is written on there, they're not obviously going to use any of their phonological awareness skills to spell that. They're just going to copy. And you may think, well, that's fine. Why wouldn't they? They may as well use what they've got. However, what happens when the clue is not there? What happens when they learn a new word? What happens when they need to do inventive writing and they need to think of their own words that they want to write on the page? The clues are not there. So they really, really need to have their phonological awareness skills so that they can work out how to spell new words that they've never spelt before. So we develop the phonological awareness skills and then we reintroduce the sounds and the letters together so that it all starts to make sense together, and we've given them all the tools that they need to be able to read and spell.